All right, here we are, episode 24 straight weeks of Friends Talking Nerdy. This is Tim Josman.
This is Sterling.
And this is Ray. I'm actually on this for once.
I had to. I didn't want to end up with a stab wound at some point.
Has she not been on the show? I thought we recorded with her like twice.
Once.
Well,
I'm a bad friend.
Technically twice, but that's a lost episode.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
Never surface.
Oh, man. God, no.
Oh, God.
That wasn't uncomfortable at all.
Oh, man.
Anyway, 6 months.
Sounds like we got a prostitute or something. Like an underage prostitute. You know what I mean? Like, who is this? Why is she here? Oh, God, look at Tim's face. Look how red his face is. Oh, my God.
So 6 months, guys.
Yeah, 6 months. It's been a hell of a 6 months. Oh, man.
Going all the way from that hot day in your very, very small room talking about child prostitutes.
Remember that heat wave? That heat wave was awful.
Yeah, but at least Portland in the summer was not as loud as New York.
Yeah, for real. Right. Oh my God, the ambulances and fire trucks and people yelling at Moira.
Moira.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just playing Overwatch and there's a new character, Moira.
Ooh.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I mean, you said that on the first episode, too.
I know.
Yeah, so it's like, what? Anyway. Yeah, but not as loud as New York, I guess. So, yeah. What do y'all think? What are y'all thoughts that we pulled this off?
I'm just excited that we're, like, not only doing it, but continuing with it, and it's, like, actually doing okay. We had one of our first like celebrity guests. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know. I just like talking about nerdy shit. So it's just like an excuse to get out of the house, talk about nerdy shit, research nerdy shit. Like I looked up one of our podcasts that's going to be coming up. I like sat and researched for about an hour to just go back into the recesses of my brain and, like, remember shit from my childhood.
And then you bring up dark stuff. Oh, Pastor Thompson. What's no, brain. No.
Oh, my God.
Trying to go down memory lane, not nightmare lane.
That's not the flesh of Christ, no.
Oh, God. I'm, like, super Catholic, too. Like, I have the best priest. Nothing weird. He just was really into sports. And
you weren't the best priest. Why, Billy? You didn't rape. No.
You see that episode of South Park where they're, like, discussing about, like, how to rape children better? No. They're just like, hey, we have to find a way to, like, have kids stop talking about being raped. And then, like, they're like, oh, well, you know, maybe we should just stop raping kids. And then this, like, alien race is just like, what are you talking about? How are we supposed to not have sex with children? And they're like Mandalorians, I think that's what they're called. And they're like, the Mandalorian female vagina is 6 feet wide and covered in razor-sharp teeth. And then they're like, okay, maybe the humans will just stop raping children. And the Mandalorians can, like, find out other ways to not die.
So what about you, Ray?
That was something. Okay.
And welcome to the show, Friends Talking Nerdy. That's a great intro. That is a great intro.
Oh, my God.
Since I haven't been on the podcast, it's been really nice to see a bunch of nerdy things coming out and nerdy things happening
that I can't talk about, you fuckers.
So I've been talking about it with myself in my own podcast in my head while you guys actually do this podcast.
The podcast is called Fuck You Tim.
Yeah, it's called Fuck You Guys. So it's been great, Tim.
Well, I will say this. I can't believe believe that we are here at this point. I can't believe the response that we got. It's not the biggest response in the world, of course, but these type of things take a while to build.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, yeah. So I'll wait till next year before I start worrying about getting all those coke and whores, and I don't know. No, seriously, for my part, I'd like to thank you all for listening, and I would like to thank Ray and Sterling, of course, for their assistance, and there are other people that have been on the show and that have not been on the show that deserve my thanks as well. So, any parting words?
It's been a fantastic time. I love that I can be inappropriate in the most appropriate way. Yeah, it's been great.
I would say something, but I'm the one that had the leper horror story in the holiday special. Did you hear that one?
No, I didn't.
It was a Sam Kinison bit, and I'll do it again because I think it's funny as hell. It's a leper having sex with a woman, just... Oh, I'm sorry. I should have told you I was a leper. Here, let me get it out. Wait a minute. This isn't mine. There must be 4 or 5 leopard dicks in here.
Oh, man.
So, leper whore.
Oh, God.
That was terrible.
Unclean, bro. Unclean.
I did not create that one.
Yeah.
Sam Kinison did, and the man was a legend. But anyway, any thoughts?
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
All right.
We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all.
I rode into town on an ass. Yo mama's ass.
If your friends are nerdy and you are nerdy too, I wanna talk to you. Friends talking nerdy.
All right. What do you got next on your list?
So for mine, let me see. What did I put down? I put down. Oh, we haven't talked about Cartoon Network. So all those cartoons on Cartoon Network. I really liked Powerpuff Girls. That was my favorite cartoon.
Nice.
And then The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Those two shows.
Fucking love that show.
I loved those shows so much. But I really liked what Cartoon Network was putting out in the 90s because it was good quality content during the day. And then at night when you were supposed to be sleeping, they had Adult Swim.
Yeah. Man, I remember when we got cable and I found Adult Swim. We didn't have cable yet at our house, but I would travel for basketball and shit with school, and we'd stay in a hotel and they'd have Adult Swim, and I would just sit there and I'd just be watching these awesome shows.
Yep.
They were so fucking good.
I really liked Adult Swim at night. I think on Saturdays, that's when they had Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Nice.
And they had
Home movies,
those cartoons.
Yeah.
And then on Sundays, those are my nights because that was my introduction to anime.
Same.
Because it had Cowboy Bebop and then Gundam, Inuyasha, and its million different ending theme songs and opening theme songs. Every single theme song on YouTube right now, I'm just I listen to it, I'm just oh my god, this brings back so many memories.
Totally.
Was it
Fully Cooley?
Fully Cooley was on there. Case Closed.
Was that on there?
Was it on there?
No, I don't know, but I love Case Closed.
But that was a really good one.
That's one of the longest running cartoon series in Japan.
It's still going on right now.
That's what I'm saying. It is. That was actually introduced to me from a coworker when I was 23, and I was like, "What? I love this," because they actually take a lot of reference from Sherlock Holmes, and I forget the guy's name, Hercule Renault. The guy who was on Murder of the Orient Express, that book.
Poirot.
Huh?
I think Poirot. Hercule Poirot.
Yeah.
In French. I don't know.
Yeah. I love... did you see that movie, Murder on the Orient Express? It was really good.
Didn't have enough explosions.
doesn't need explosions.
Everything needs
You have a
explosions.
French detective with an excellent mustache.
Keanu Reeves and John Wick had an awesome mustache, and he got to shoot people in the face for about 12 hours, and that was fun.
But
Does that karate?
I loved the introduction to anime because you had shows like Full Metal Alchemist that kind of opened up this whole new world of darkness to 13, 14, 15-year-old Sterling. Because no joke, going into high school, I had this terrible depression because I watched Donnie Darko. So you have me
so
happy, skipping around, and friends.
Hey, everybody!
So edgy. And then I fucking sit there and watch Donnie Darko, and I'm just like, life is meaningless. And and that was it was this weird bridge where I lost all of my friends from grade school, all of them. Yeah, dude. and then okay, I don't have any friends, and then okay, here, let's watch Donnie Darko, and I'm just like, okay.
Did you listen to a lot of Joy Division?
No, Depeche Mode.
Oh my god.
Depeche Mode. Yeah. So
full cliche.
Yeah, no, that was the weirdest thing.
Did you have hair over your eyes?
No. So that's the thing, is I had these parents who, my dad was in the Navy, my mom was just a traditional Catholic mother. So I wasn't even allowed to wear black t-shirts. You know what I mean?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening in. This is Tim Jousman. On the line, we got...
Noel.
I didn't know we were supposed to introduce ourselves. Damn it, Tim, what kind of an introduction is that?
Pretty
I
pathetic one,
want flowers
apparently.
at a rose parade. Damn it.
On our budget, I don't know if I can get that all the way out to New York. But, yeah, here we are. We wanted to record a little bit for episode 24 here. So, 6 months. What do y'all have to think about that?
Well, for me, I mean, in the past 6 months of movies, there have been a lot of really good geek films out this year. I completely forgot about Logan as a really good film. That was on HBO. For me, sometimes that's been always my relaxer. I always come home, pop on HBO or TCM, see what's happening, and watch that. And it's been a minute, so I was on a couple nights ago, and I was just like, oh wow, I forgot how emotional that film was. That was one of the hidden gems of the year. I mean, there have been some good films and bad films. But,
yes, but we're talking about the fact that the podcast has been on for 6 months going.
Oh, no, that all comes together. No, let's see, if you let me continue.
I'm sorry, I was trying to find out where you're going with this. This is Moore, by the way. I didn't introduce myself. So Nolan Moore, we're here in New York City, just in case you guys didn't know.
Okay, so I apologize for pontificating, but basically, the cool thing about this with the show is it really opened up that that inner geek, of that. That's one thing about the show I think is incredible. We can really geek out on these things like films and comic books.
It made us realize more how sad we really are.
No, I don't. Well, I wouldn't say.
I'm kidding.
I wouldn't say sad, but it's more. It's like you're not alone.
Yeah.
That's there. It is. That was all of that.
But we already knew that.
You are not alone.
Nolan is like my Comic-Con buddy. He's my movie buddy. We go see all the not stupid, I shouldn't say stupid, but the fun popcorn action film movies,
Yeah, the classics.
I think the last one you and I saw was the Kingsman Golden Circle, right?
Yeah, the Kingsman, yeah. That was all. I was thinking about that the other day. Elton John really made that movie for me. He totally did. And that's a spoiler because I did not know, in case you guys haven't seen that second Kingsman movie, I did not know he was in it, so it wasn't really advertised, but he totally stole the movie.
Yes.
If you guys haven't seen it.
Yes.
Was it better than his Spice World appearance?
Oh my God, you admit you saw Spice World? Tim, what's wrong with you?
I saw it in theaters.
Wow. Man,
we should not do the roast for the 6 months. Tim, you're giving us ammunition here.
Look, hey, I'm not Phil Snob. Like what you like, Tim. Do you?
That's funny.
Yeah, it wasn't a classic, but they made fun of themselves, so there you go.
Well, I just know wasn't Alan Cummings in the movie?
Spice World?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I only saw it the once.
Because I'm a fan of his, and I think I saw like maybe 5 minutes of it once, and he was in it.
Yeah, honestly, the only two movies I remember him from are GoldenEye and Spy Kids.
Yeah, that's what I remember him mostly also. Spy Kids, but he was on the TV show Good Wife, which was he was amazing in.
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah. That Stallone remake, Get Carter, he was the bad guy. Near the end of the movie, Stallone was going to kill him, but he was sniveling so hard that I think Stallone let him live.
Can I tell you, I saw that movie in the theater, and I just don't remember it, because I think I didn't care for it. So it's one of those, I didn't really see it again. Yeah. I just couldn't. So I don't really remember anything about it. So.
Yeah, I caught it like on HBO, back in the days. I mean, the original is really good, Michael Caine one, but
I heard the original. It just better. I didn't see it. I had no memory of it. It just kind of came and went. Yeah, it didn't resonate.
Well, I think that might have been too that was just about the time that Stallone started realizing that movies the way he had been making them were not going to work anymore. And I think that also corresponded around the time that he did Spy Kids 3 with Robert Rodriguez, and then from there, Rocky Balboa, Rambo 4, and even The Expendables, not the best, but still better than Get Carter. And Get Carter was not a bad movie. It was just mediocre, and you expected more.
Yeah, but I think we're still going through that phase of movies that just were like Judge Dredd.
No, but he did. I think by around Get Carter, didn't he do some other? It was like another one where he was the lone cop.
Oh, Copland?
Yes, thank you.
That was 96.
Yeah.
That was a few years before that.
Yeah, to me that was also another sleeper I didn't really care for. But that was different from the normal stuff he did, which was okay. That was a nice change, but
yeah. Audience.
No, I'm a fan of his old stuff. I think Rocky.
And First Blood, dude. First Blood was on TV the other day. I started watching again, and I'm like, oh my god, this stands still to this time. That film. It's really that film is done very straightforward, and from the jump, you just he's telling you that. And for me, Nighthawks when he shot stuff in New York, also great. So Stallone does have his moments.
Oh, and what was that Woody Allen film that he had a cameo in? I mean, it's considered a cameo now, but at the time he was just a character actor.
I think it was Take the Money and Run, I think is the film.
You sure it wasn't Bananas?
Bananas, he was the dictator. I want to think it could, take time. No, like I said, we have computers. We could directly just look this up. So.
Yeah.
Never seen a Woody. No, unfortunately I saw one Woody Allen movie. I am not a fan of his. And after that one movie I saw, I'm like, never again. I learned my lesson. I am truly not a fan.
So you never saw like Annie Hall or Sleeper?
Nope.
It was Bananas.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. He was almost. He like confronted him on a train or something, like a subway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, what about you, Maura? 6 months. What do you think?
And they said it wouldn't last. I'm going to get you a T-shirt that says that, along with the podcast name.
And you did not want to roast.
I know. I'm doing it naturally. Who knew? I don't know. I guess it definitely. It's funny. I didn't think I would have much to talk about, and shockingly, I do. And it's like every time we talk, I mean, you see how even this opening, we're jumping from one thing to the next, and I love these type of conversations, and I've learned so much more listening to you guys and Sterling and Ray, and I love the episode that you had where that comic book writer come on,
Nick Marino.
Like that was also amazing. So, I'm totally a nerd at heart, and it's great. So every time we get to do this, I don't know. For me, it's just nice to just sit and chat.
That it is for me too, and for my part, I'm glad that we still have this connection after you moving back to New York, and that we can continue to be friends and whatnot. And then Noel, pleasant surprise. I did not expect how much of a valuable resource you've been on the show from the very start. So thank you very much for being involved. But hopefully 6 months from now we can get to the 1 year mark and actually do something nice. Maybe have a little party. I don't know.
Woohoo! 1 year! 1 year!
Party!
Keep it going.
But anyway, thank you all for listening, and we will see you all later. And remember to subscribe. That's important. Subscribe to the podcast.
We now join the following program already in progress.
So I look like a normal kid, and I was just terribly, terribly depressed. And you couldn't tell because I just wasn't like, fuck everything, and black shirts and like black hoodies and black shoes and shit. No, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna hide this pain. And then here comes Edward Elric, who not only loses his arm and a leg trying to save his brother to revive their dead mother, but then it's like, oh, hey, episode 2. Let's talk about this guy who kills his wife and daughter and dog to fucking make a chimera. And that's the other thing, too. Netflix in all its wisdom was like, hey, Sterling, do you want to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? And I was like, yeah, it's way better than the original Full Metal Alchemist. Let's do it. And I looked at it, and right in the fucking category of where it says Full Metal Alchemist, it says comedy/animation. And I'm like, fuck you, Netflix. This isn't funny. There's nothing funny about a guy who kills his daughter and his dog to make a daughter-dog hybrid. No, thank you.
For me, I would like to thank. On that note,
yeah. Let me just pause.
Ray's looking for an escape route right now.
So
We're
guys,
going down this very dark tunnel, Sterling.
we're still going to talk about anime because anime was like really huge in my life at that time. I'd like to thank Spike for looking really cool while he smoked cigarettes.
Yes.
And starting my cigarette addiction. But when I first saw Cowboy Bebop, I was just like, okay, this is really amazing. And also I don't get it. Because on Adult Swim, they would appear, like, the Cowboy Bebop episodes would appear out of order.
Oh.
So I never got the chance to fully watch it until, like, a couple years later when, you had those, like, torrent sites, like LimeWire and stuff.
Gotcha.
And I would actually download them.
You were a pirate?
Yeah.
That's bad.
Don't harass
But
me.
you don't have an eye patch.
But I downloaded them and I actually watched the whole story in order, and I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Anime is fucking amazing.
I watched it on Adult Swim when they just did a marathon of the whole series.
Yeah.
So I literally, the first time I saw it was in sequential order with commercials.
See, I could only watch it whenever I was at my friend's house because I was too busy at that time being homeless. So
Priorities.
Priorities. Like, I had to find somewhere to sleep,
Yeah.
But I would watch that show, and that was kind of the perfect escape for me. Then, also at the same time, I watched Ghost in the Shell, and I felt like that was way too mature for when I started watching it. And then a couple years later, I actually watched that show in full and was just like, this is a freaking beautiful story. It's very, like, cyberpunk kind of, like, really awesome. And then Samurai Champloo came out in the early 2000s, so it wasn't a part of, like, the 90s era.
Yeah.
But I also watched that on Adult Swim. And at the same time,
That was actually on Cartoon Network.
Really?
It was not Adult Swim.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the new Samurai Jack is on Adult Swim.
Oh, no, Samurai Champloo.
Oh, Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, Samurai Champloo. Samurai Jack, I knew that was on
Love Samurai Jack.
Cartoon Network, because that was amazing. I thought that should be on Adult Swim, but it did. Cartoon Network has a very interesting way of, like, skating
The
between,
line.
like, mature and still kid-like.
Yeah.
Like, they're still doing it now with some of their shows, like the newer cartoons that are out now.
Totally.
I'm just like, this is like for adults. This
like
is not for
Adventure
kids.
Time.
Exactly.
Or like Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Ed, Edd and Eddy for sure. I was
Yeah.
just like, this is totally made for... Ed, Edd and Eddy was made for, like, stoner kids.
Yeah, totally.
That whole cartoon. Just stoner city.
Like, you have this kid who's just talking to a plank of wood. He's like, what? Would you say plank of wood? Kill them all? Yeah.
Exactly. And there's no adults around, so it's just like, I feel like that was a really good show for teenagers.
Totally.
Is Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Yep.
But, back to anime. So I was on the website Gaia Online. Did you guys ever do? It was this really, really nerdy hangout site for like weeaboo nerds and like kids who are like weird, essentially. So I was like,
I wasn't.
I was on that website all the time with like my friends who were into anime, and then when I would go to school, I would get made fun of because I watched anime and like liked video games.
Oh my god,
and
yeah.
I was known as like this weird kid that nobody wanted to talk to because like, oh, she's into that all that like white people stuff. I'm putting air quotes up right now. It was considered white people stuff to like anime and like play video games and stuff like that. So I was just like, well, I guess I'll continue to enjoy this on my own. So I feel like anime for me was like a really good escape to like enjoy the things that I enjoy. And I proudly, to this day, am weeaboo trash. And I don't care who knows it.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what
now,
you just
the
said.
fun thing, too, was Cartoon Network would have non-Adult Swim shows on Fridays that were anime, and I forget the name of it. It was the dude in the spaceship. And
which one? There's so many.
No, like he was like the host of the show.
Yeah, Space Goes Coast to Coast.
No. It was like the cartoon block had this weird space guy.
Oh, that guy.
I forget his name.
The host of Toonami.
Mm-hmm. So Toonami was like super duper awesome because they played Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
And they played all kinds of crap. One of them was Bobobo.
Yeah.
This guy has fucking nose hairs that he fights with. It was crazy. But that got me into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Tim's like, it all makes sense now.
But Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z were like my like 10, 11, 12 age group, and I love that show, man. You watch actual characters progress. Like, they were children, then they're teenagers, and then they're adults, and you're just like, you've never seen that in a show. And then they're fighting. And, like, because of that, like, Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z, Street Sharks, like, all these things, it, like, kind of made me a little aggro as a small child. That, and I had an older brother. So my mom was like, okay, well, they're gonna knock each other's teeth out, so let's put them in taekwondo and like kickboxing, and then we learned that fighting has its place, and it's the backyard.
They merge.
Yeah.
And then also Toonami had Sailor Moon.
Yeah, Sailor Moon. Oh my god, that was like the best show. No, Tuxedo Mask was the shit. That dude was awesome. He's like, I'm going to run around in a tuxedo and fucking fight crime. And then you're just like, how does he do it? How does he keep the cummerbund in, like, his pants? Like, makes no sense. And then he's, like, throwing roses and, like, hitting people with roses and killing them. And you're just like, what the fuck? What are in those roses? Oh, man.
Love.
Yeah. and then I don't know how, but they had their there was Sailor Moon, there was Tuxedo Mask, and then there was this little girl with pink hair that I think was their daughter. But they were I don't know, man, that made no sense. But I love that fucking show. It was so cool, and that was like one of the first introductions to a female cast. That was like Power Rangers. They're just like, no, they're all girls. They fight crime. They're kick-ass. And then, that one's a klutz. And then, oh, man, that show was so fucking good.
They also had Tenchi Muyo, which came out, and apparently it was super, super edited because the original has a lot of blood, profanity, and like a bunch of fan service. So like Tenchi Muyo, it's this.
Oh,
this
where
show.
they fight. Like that's all they do is fight. So yeah, I mean, other than in Dragon Ball Z, they like edited their like ki blasts when they're like shooting each other. They're like, I'm going to send you to another dimension.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you. You're just going somewhere else.
See, I've seen like the unedited stuff of these like cartoons.
I've seen the edited and unedited,
and I'm just like, what the hell was I watching?
Yeah.
Dolphins can't do that. Or was it octopus? I don't know.
Oh my god.
Yamate! Oh man.
It's funny about Yeah.
Or Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Was great.
Oh man.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, I know, but that shit was so terrible.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh! We could also talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon.
Yeah.
Were you more Yu-Gi-Oh! Or were you more Pokemon?
Both.
Both? I was more Pokemon.
See, I didn't collect the cards.
It goes both ways.
I played card games and video games. What up? I play a video game that's a card game. That too.
He's a good multitasker.
There you go.
This isn't Sterling's dating profile. Wait.
Oh man.
He's like, I don't need help. Fuck you.
He watches video games. He plays movies. No.
Ladies, you can make him a bologna sandwich.
What? No.
What? No.
Not bologna salami, you fucker.
Tim, it's getting late. Go to bed.
All right, well, I will go on with my next one here.
Do it.
A little show on on MTV, Beavis and Butthead.
If we talk about Beavis and Butthead, I feel like we need to like lump in the midnight cartoon hour for MTV because
Including Daria.
For sure.
Did you watch Daria or just Beavis and Butthead?
I saw a couple episodes. It looked pretty good, but it wasn't really my thing.
You should watch Daria.
See, I watched like The Head, where the aliens possess people's brains, and then you had Aeon Flux, The Max, and honestly, Beavis and Butthead. That was like, oh hey, let's watch all these music videos while making fun of them.
That's what I really enjoyed about Beavis and Butthead is because they each earlier in the earlier seasons, each episode had like a music video that they would sit and watch, and that's how I kind of learned about other music. That was
same
out there.
here. I mean, that's how I was introduced to White Zombie. That was the first time I saw Thunder Kiss 65, and it introduced even to like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. I wasn't really familiar with them at the time, but when the Beavis and
They're just like standing there on the couch, just air guitaring.
But what I absolutely love about the show is how well it is written. It really takes skill to write dumb humor like that in a way that lasts. I mean, anybody can Kevin Smith can throw a dick and fart joke in.
Totally.
But he built those episodes up so by the end of that episode, you're laughing your ass off.
Totally.
Yep.
I kid you not, I literally pissed my pants when I saw the Cornholio episode where he like pulls his shirt up because he was like hopped up on sugar or some shit.
Yeah.
And he's just got his shirt up and he's like, I need pee-pee for my bunghole. Like,
I need pee-pee for my bunghole.
Oh my God. I literally just was like, I could not stop laughing. And he kept saying it. And like, I was 6 or 7 and I fucking pissed myself laughing.
And that's one of the cartoons too. Sometimes they have those little repeat gags like a Family Guy with Surfing Bird.
Yeah.
Bird. He just kept on going and kept on going. It was so ludicrous. It was funny at that point. But Mike Judge does not get the credit for the creator. And King of the Hill was also on my list as well. What I liked about that show is that it started off similar as The Simpsons in terms of being a cartoon, but just a family story like a regular sitcom, but it kept that format. It didn't become absurd.
It didn't try to do the Simpsons thing where it was like, oh, we're doing this, now we're doing this. Like it was like, hey, we're playing football today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. What the hell?
Dango boom, man, dango boom.
I love Stephen Root though, who built what was it? Bill, what's his name? The balding
Bill Dauterive.
Dauterive, yeah. He also was the judge on in Idiocracy. We are here to commensurate. He was great, but those shows are funny.
That episode where you find out Bill is like an heir to a considerable fortune, and everybody's just giving him shit like all his life, and then it's like, oh, he has a shit ton of money.
I didn't see that episode.
Oh man, they go to like Louisiana or something like that, and like Peggy's like, "Oh, I speak French. It's fine," and they're just like, "No, we do not speak that language." And then
that is a spear language. You must talk like us.
And then they get to Bill's house, and there's like 3 women. One of them's like his cousin or something.
It is in the South. Oh.
The other 2 are like his dead brother's ex-wives, and then there's, I don't know who the guy was, but the guy was gay, and was he related to Bill?
I don't remember that.
Okay, but this weird gay character just like attaches to Bobby, and he's just like, hey, like a gentleman presents himself very nicely, and then he's just like, what is this material? And he's like, that is not velvet, son, that is velveteen. And then he's like, gentlemen know the difference, and he's just like, my word. And he's just stroking this weird velvet, like blue velvet, like tuxedo that's like Bobby's size. And he's just running around, and he's just like doing all this weird shit. And then he's talking to Hank, because Hank's like, I don't like this kid or this guy hanging around my son. And they're going to like a football field for the Saints, because he's going to throw a football for like a competition. And they're talking about the Saints, and he's like, oh, I knew a Saint very briefly. And like, you're just like, you're not going to talk to my son anymore.
Quit being creepy.
The King of the Hill had a lot of hit and miss moments.
Yeah.
But that episode was just straight hits the whole time.
I'm going to have to look that episode up.
Oh my
God.
God.
Sounds so funny.
And that wraps up another episode of Friends Talking Nerdy. Thanks once again for listening, especially on a day that represents a lot here, the 6-month anniversary of what we've been doing. So we appreciate you listening. Definitely hope you enjoyed what we were able to bring, the regular show, the 90s discussion, the cartoon discussion, as well as some of the special messages we recorded. Now, speaking of that, last week I did promise a special guest, so let's bring that person on.
Hey everybody, once again we got another person we're going to speak to here. I promised a special surprise guest last week, and while this person has not officially been on the show before, he is someone that you've heard each and every week. Tell us who you
everybody. My name is Christopher Lazarek, and I recorded the intro for the Tim Jousma podcast.
There you go, Friends Talking Nerdy. The type of theme song that you can't get out of your head, and I think that's a good thing here. But for the folks at home, tell us a little bit about yourself and about your life as a musician.
Sure, yeah. So I've been playing music for a real long time. I am from the South, and I think that part of being from the South is just being in music all the time. So I started playing music in church, and I kind of started playing music in bands, and I moved to Oregon about 4 years ago, and I started rebranding as a solo artist, and I put out a record in 2015 called Here's to You, which you can find on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff. And I did a little tour along the West Coast. It's been a really good last couple years. Been writing, and then Tim, I work with Tim, and he asked me to record a little ditty for his podcast.
Oh, yeah. We're taking a break right now at the strip club, by the way. I'm getting ready for my 5 o'clock show here. Anyway, about the theme song itself, I mean, when I first heard it, it reminded me of like an old Nintendo type
Sure.
theme song. And also Sterling mentioned, too, that he loved how the tempo of the song really picked up. Tell us a little bit about the creation of the jingle.
Yeah, I thought a lot about it, actually. So Tim sent me kind of a demo of what the podcast might sound like, and I kind of saw the vision of it, and I just downloaded a bunch of like old clips. I downloaded a couple Zelda clips, and I downloaded a couple of like Superman clips, and I listened to a couple of like anime intros, and I wanted to kind of blend all of those things together. And I started with strings, some digital strings, and then I recorded a little 8-bit sounding synth, and I put some really, really intense anime drums on it. And then it sounded okay, and then I just bumped the tempo up as high as it could go, and we ended up with what we have. So
there you go. How long do you think that the creation of the song took?
So the jingle was the long part. So I wanted a jingle that could be memorable, and so as soon as I figured that out, the actual creation of the song kind of fell into place. It happened in an afternoon, so and then I had to just get it recorded. So
nice. Has anybody provided any feedback to you in regards to the theme song?
Yeah, I mean it's everyone that hears the podcast that I know comes back to me, and they just say that it's stuck in their head, and they're singing that little jingle to me, which is hysterical. So I'm so happy that it worked out well.
Yeah, and every week we try to bring people to your website to purchase your album. Here's to you, available on all digital platforms and all that lovely stuff. But since we're at the 6-month mark here, your theme song is definitely one key that's made the podcast memorable for me. So one compadre to another, we definitely thank you, and we are definitely going to find a way to officially get you on the show, since this is just a little bumper for the 6-month anniversary, but we can get together, talk about music, and talk about
Let's talk about nerdy stuff. Yeah, I'm into it.
Let's do it. So, hey, thanks again.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
I am Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.